Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle something we all feel, fear. But more importantly, how do you talk about it in English so you sound, completely natural?
I mean, have you ever been there? You're watching a super scary movie, or maybe walking down a dark street, and you get that chill. But when you try to explain it in English, the words just fall flat. They don't quite capture that feeling, right?
Well, that is exactly what we are going to change today. We are going to build your personal toolkit, your lexicon if you want to get fancy, of all the best words and phrases to talk about being scared, just like a native speaker would.
All right, so first up, let's set the scene, literally. How do you describe a place that just feels, a little bit off?
A great word to have in your back pocket is spooky. It's just perfect for things that are kind of strange, a little bit frightening, but not full-on terrifying. Think of an old, dusty attic. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you. If you really want to amp it up, just throw ultra in front of it. Ultra spooky. Sounds great, right?
Okay, let's level up from spooky. If you're talking about a place where people think a ghost hangs out, the word you need is haunted. The classic example, of course, is a haunted house. This isn't just a little weird. This means we're talking about some kind of supernatural stuff going on.
So, we've got the scary places down. But what about the people in those scary places? Let's talk about how fear affects us, like physically, and how we can describe someone who's feeling it.
Okay, this is super important because words have power, right? If you call someone a coward, that's a big deal. It's a pretty serious insult saying they have no courage. But scaredy cat? That's totally different. It's way more playful, something you'd say to a friend who jumps when you surprise them. You definitely gotta know the difference.
You know, one of the best and most natural ways to talk about being scared is to just describe what it's doing to your body. You know that feeling when you get cold or you're really creeped out and all the little hairs on your arms and neck stand up? Yep, in English, we call those goosebumps. Everybody knows exactly what that feels like.
And using this in a sentence, so powerful. When you say, wow, that place gave me goosebumps, you're painting such a clear picture of how you felt, and you didn't even have to say the word scared. It's descriptive, it's natural, and it absolutely nails the feeling.
All right, so we've got words for places, we've got words for feelings. Now let's tie it all together with a couple of phrases that will make you sound so much more fluent.
Check this out. This is such a simple little formula, but it works like magic. So instead of saying, the doll is creepy, which is totally fine by the way, you can sound way more natural by just flipping it around. You take your adjective, like creepy, add the word looking, and then put the noun at the end.
So just like that, the doll is creepy turns into, that's a creepy looking doll. Or that shadow is strange becomes, that's a strange looking shadow. See? It's a tiny, tiny change, but trust me, it makes a huge difference in how natural you sound.
Okay, here's another must-have phrase for your toolkit. When something gives you the creeps, it's not talking about a sudden shock like a jump scare in a movie. Nope. This is for that slow, unsettling feeling, when something is just deeply wrong or disturbing. It's that feeling that kind of crawls up your spine.
Yeah, the context here is everything. A loud bang doesn't give you the creeps, but an old, abandoned house with the paint peeling and one swing moving by itself in the wind. Oh yeah, that definitely gives you the creeps. It's the perfect idiom for that kind of slow burn, atmospheric fear.
Okay, let's take a step back for a second. Because how we talk about fear isn't just about vocabulary, right? It's actually tied super closely to our culture.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. If you look at many Latin American cultures, for example, a lot of superstitions are about very concrete things you can name. Ghosts, specific spirits, actual beings. But then you look at many Anglo cultures, and the fear is often more abstract. It's about this idea of bad luck, which is symbolized by things like black cats crossing your path, or the number 13.
And really, that's the big idea here. The language a culture uses for fear is like a window into what that culture, as a whole, is afraid of. Our words really do reflect our shared beliefs and our deepest anxieties.
All right, let's bring it all home and do a quick fire recap of all the awesome tools we've just added to your fear lexicon today. So, let's run through your new toolkit. You've got this. From now on, you can describe a place as spooky or haunted. You can talk about that very real physical reaction of getting goosebumps. You can build those supernatural sounding sentences like, that's a creepy looking doll.
And for that slow, unsettling feeling, you now have the perfect idiom, it gives me the creeps.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Now that you have these new English tools, think about your own first language for a second. How do you talk about fear? What do your words, your phrases, your idioms, what do they say about what your culture is really scared of?